Most people expect their avoidant ex to have this big, dramatic moment where everything clicks and they come running back. But what actually happens inside their head is so much darker and so much more psychological than that. If you've gone silent on an avoidant, or you're considering it right now, you probably want to know one thing. Does it actually do anything? The answer is yes. But the mechanics of what happens inside their mind are far more layered than most people realize. Today, I'm walking you through every psychological stage of what your avoidant ex experiences when you truly disappear. And I'm including the observation at the end that almost nobody talks about, because it requires looking inward instead of at them. Stay with me for that part. It's the one that actually changes things. Stage 1. Relief. And that's going to sting. You already know about deactivation. You know they pull back when things get emotionally close. So let's skip the basics. When you go silent, their nervous system settles. The pressure lifts. You know this part. What doesn't get talked about enough is what that relief does to you in real time. You're in the worst anxiety spiral of your life while they're finally exhaling. Checking your phone every 20 minutes while they're sleeping fine. That's not weakness. It's two completely different nervous systems responding to the same silence in opposite directions. That mismatch, that specific, painful asymmetry, is what makes most people break no contact. Not lack of discipline, just the unbearable experience of feeling everything while they feel nothing. Yet. Stage 2. You removed the safety net they didn't know they had. Here's something that doesn't get enough attention. Avoidants don't just regulate through distance. They regulate through the predictability of the people they're distancing from. Knowing you're available. Knowing you'll eventually reach out. Knowing that even inside their withdrawal, you're emotionally orbiting them. That predictability is its own quiet form of intimacy. One they access without the vulnerability of showing up. Your availability was the thing making their unavailability feel manageable. When you go truly silent, you don't just remove the pressure, you remove the floor. And their brain registers something load-bearing is gone before it even understands what's missing. Not grief yet, not longing, just a low-level sense that something structural has collapsed. If this is already clicking, drop a like. I want to know this is landing. Stage 3. Ego before heart, every time. Avoidants don't lead with sadness when things go quiet. They lead with ego-protective cognition, defensiveness, self-reliance, a mental reframe that keeps them from sitting with vulnerability. So what surfaces first isn't, I miss them. It's, why haven't they reached out? And, did they move on that fast? And, was I not worth the chase? Underneath that is something more revealing. You had a function in their psychological world you weren't aware of. You were the one who absorbed their withdrawal without leaving, who stayed readable and available while they stayed opaque. That gave their entire avoidance system something to orient around. And now that orientation point is gone. This is why disappearing unsettles avoidance in a way emotional conversations never could. Telling them how you feel activates their defenses. Disappearing removes the thing their defenses were built to manage. There's nothing left to push against. Stage 4. Selective memory, but not the way you think. Once enough distance accumulates, their brain starts revisiting the relationship, and this is where it gets genuinely interesting. McCullinser and Shaver's research on avoidant deactivating strategies suggests avoidants suppress both negative and positive attachment memories when emotional threat is high. Not just the conflict, the closeness, too. Both get buried when proximity feels dangerous. Which means while you were in the relationship, they may not have had full conscious access to how good it actually felt to be with you. The emotional threat of closeness was suppressing the good parts in real time. With enough distance, the threat reduces. And when the threat reduces, those suppressed memories surface. Your warmth, your consistency, the specific way being around you felt different. They're not romanticizing a version of you that didn't exist. They're finally accessing a version of you they were too defended to fully feel when you were there. That's not growth. That's just their nervous system lowering its guard. Don't confuse the two. Stage 5. Your absence hits harder than your presence ever did. Because avoidants suppress attachment feelings in real time, the emotional weight of a connection often only becomes fully accessible after it's gone. The grief, the missing, the realization, it arrives late. Sometimes after you've already healed, after you've moved on, after the window has quietly closed. There's something devastating about that for both people. You were fully present, feeling everything in real time, while they experienced a muted version of it. Now that you're gone, they're feeling it at full volume. This is not a reason to wait. It's just the reality of what delayed emotional processing looks like in practice. Realization is not the same as change. And this is the most important distinction in this entire video. They can miss you, think about you constantly, finally understand what they lost, and still do absolutely nothing with that awareness. Because awareness without the capacity for emotional intimacy is just pain that goes nowhere. What doesn't get said enough? Avoidants who haven't done genuine therapeutic work don't just repeat the pattern. They repeat it while sincerely believing this time will be different. The self-awareness can be real. The intention can be real. The outcome can still be identical. So if they come back, the only question worth asking isn't whether they missed you. It's what they've done differently. Not said, done. What did coming back actually look like in your situation? Share it in the comments. The details tell me immediately whether anything had genuinely shifted. The question underneath everything. Here's where I want to zoom out completely. Because there's something sitting beneath this whole dynamic that most people never reach. You spent weeks, maybe months, trying to understand why they didn't choose you, analyzing the patterns, replaying the moments, waiting for the realization to finally hit them. But if you zoom all the way out, the more important question was never, why didn't they choose me? It's, why did you feel like love was something you had to earn in the first place? Because that's what the silence quietly exposes. Not just about them, but about you. The overfunctioning, the overgiving, the way you bent yourself around someone's emotional unavailability. Somewhere, at some point, you learned that love required that kind of effort, that you had to be patient enough, consistent enough, understanding enough to deserve it. And that belief, not their avoidance, is what kept you in the dynamic longer than you should have been. The shift from why didn't they choose me to why did I feel the need to earn love is the one that actually changes your next relationship. One question keeps you focused on them. The other brings you back to yourself. That's the real work. And it's the only shift that creates the kind of person who genuinely stops needing an avoidant to come back. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.